Hey everybody, one more video for you this week. I just wanted to come in with a quick video answering your questions on the argument essay. I only got a few, so if you do still want to submit more, if you do have one, you can still submit it and I will respond in writing. I will try to check that thread again on Friday, and if there's anything new there, I will respond in writing if I didn't get your question when I'm making this video. So yeah, I'm just gonna read through these questions and I'll give my best answers. Okay, so this first person said, what I find hard in writing an argument essay is that most of the time I am not familiar with the subject on hand. So I want to talk about this because I do think this is obviously a hard part of this essay, right? The topics that I'm giving you about, problems with college or stuff with COVID or whatever. I know you guys are not experts on this, right? I do my reading, but I'm not like, I haven't studied how to deal with COVID, obviously. So like the reason that I did it this way is basically to kind of necessitate the research. It was kind of like my way of like really trying to get you to dive into the research, because like an essay like this, where like I don't think any of us, really just have our own plan for like how to fix college tuition or whatever. So I think it really requires like a lot of research in a way. And I don't know, maybe I need to come up with a better way to teach about how to do research. I think that might be fair. Maybe I need to think of a better way to do it or something. But I don't know. For me, I feel like the way that I learned to do research was just kind of it being required and just needing to do it. So like I don't know. I don't really know what else to do with the research except to, show you how to use the databases and then give you some advice on how to kind of narrow your terms and how to do it as quickly as possible. But yeah, ultimately, I think it's something that you kind of have to learn through trial and error, and seeing like how long it can take and how difficult it can be. I mean, I don't know, like that's kind of how I learned to do it in a way that's more efficient. Is just like needing it like that. So I'm expecting that you guys are going to have to do a fair amount of research to figure out like what the like possible solutions are, what things other people are suggesting, and then but then you kind of do need to have your own opinion also, like, and honestly, that's part of being in college is like being someone who can like take in the relevant facts. Like when you do the research, you can then come to a conclusion. Like, yeah, this is what I think is best. I feel like so much of school, like high school especially, kind of like tries to drain us of all opinions, or tell us that like if you're writing academically, you have to be purely objective, as if that's possible. So I think you also need to kind of trust yourself and like give yourself some credit for like what your opinion. Like once you do the research, then yeah, like you've done the research, like you I think are then qualified to have an opinion on this stuff, even though these are kind of like big issues. So I get that it's difficult to deal with these topics maybe, but it's ultimately I think comes down to the research. And I tried to give you some of the research by the essays that we read for class, so I hope you're viewing those homework assignments as things that could possibly help you with your essay too. um Oh, this person also asked, can we write on subjects that we might be passionate about? I'm open to this, I guess. If you, have a desire to write about something that isn't one of the two things I suggested, I'm open to that. I do still want it to be a problem and solution type thing, though. I would still ask that you find a problem and argue for a solution. So if you want to do something that's not in my suggestions, I'm open to that. But I would ask that you send me an email, and just like let me know what you're thinking, and then I'll approve it, or I'll tell you maybe a way we can we'll figure something out. So I would send me an email if you have something else in mind, like something that connects to your major maybe, or something whatever in your personal life that you're just very interested in. I want you guys to write about things you're interested in, and like I don't know. That's kind of why I went with college and, COVID, obviously, like real world issues, things we're dealing with since, we're also in college. Um, so yeah, I do want you to have something you're interested in. So send me an email if you have something that's not one of my suggestions that you want to write about. Okay, next question. This person says, when you are lost on a topic to address, what should you do to come up with a topic? This is asking about coming up with a topic, right? Um, and it depends what these like in terms of okay, like for college, I would say that most kind of classes you take as a freshman or sophomore, I think that I try to give as much freedom as possible in terms of you choosing topics and making arguments and coming up with your own thesis and stuff. But I think that a lot of kind of early classes that you take in college, they won't give you the same kind of freedom always. But for me, when I got to the highest level, like when I was in grad school taking English classes, it was pretty much like we'd read a few books over the semester, and then they would just be like, write an essay, about these books, and they wouldn't really give you any direction in terms of like if you ask, they might suggest things, but they really wouldn't give you any like specific like this is what you need to write about. It was mostly just read a book and write whatever you want. So I've definitely dealt with this, and my answer honestly would be to try to find a way to connect to something that you're interested in. Number one, to start with like your interests, or something like that, or to connect to like other classes that you're taking. Like I remember I took a lot of English classes, reading novels and stuff, and I also took a lot of philosophy classes. So one of the things that I did the most going through college was like when I'd be reading a book in my English class, I would like use something, I would connect it to something in my philosophy class, and then I would like find a topic like that to write about. So I would say, your own interests, other classes that you're taking, if something fits in with your major, all of that is always good. But also just like brainstorming, is kind of how we come up with topics. I think research sometimes can help us to come up with a topic. Um, or help us like maybe to get to an argument or something like that. So sometimes like if it's a new topic that you don't really know anything about, sometimes you might just want to do like some background, get some background information and just like read what people think about this topic, and then maybe that'll help you to figure out your own opinion. But I think part of it too is like I was saying before, kind of just like trusting yourself and kind of having the confidence in yourself that like yeah, here's my opinion, and like you're damn right, this is what it is, and here's why I think what I think. So hopefully we can become, more trusting in ourselves and our own kind of instincts and opinions as well. Someone else asked me about adding a paragraph about getting COVID and their personal experience with it. I hope everyone's okay. Yeah, yes, I was a little alarmed to read this. I hope that you're doing well. Best wishes. Um, but yeah, I think that a personal experience can work. It depends. I'm not looking at this person's essay right now, so I can't say for sure based on the specific essay itself. But obviously, I have left comments on your draft if you submitted a draft, so you can check those out. Oh, I should have said at the top maybe that there are comments for everyone's drafts there. Um, I'm going to be grading some more stuff definitely by Friday or Saturday. I will have a lot more of your grades up. So keep an eye out for those too. But anyway, so anecdotes, right? Including a personal experience. I think this can work. It's one of the argument strategies that I mentioned in that video I did a couple of weeks ago, an anecdote, kind of telling a personal story as like evidence to back up what you're saying. But yeah, I would try to confine it to like one paragraph probably, because like we said, an anecdote, I think it's effective because it gives the reader like an emotional connection, and it makes it relatable and stuff. But ultimately, it's only one person's experience, right? So it's not convincing. Like you can't just have anecdotes, right? So maybe like for one paragraph, sure, I think it could work. All right, keep it moving. This person was also asking about research. It said I found it hard looking for information. Many of the articles I found. Okay, so I wasn't totally sure what this person meant. Maybe they can reach out and explain a little more. They said many of the articles I found were good, but most of it was ideas to make college free, but none of it was used to make it better for all college students in America. I'm not sure what the difference is. If it's about like, wouldn't college being free, wouldn't that be better for all of the students? I'm not totally sure. But if you are writing about student loans, one of the things that I've been really trying to emphasize to people was that like your thesis needs to be more specific than just like we need to do something about student loans, or like the government should do more about student loans. You've got to be more specific than that. You just have to. Otherwise, it's going to be too general and it's not going to be clear what your solution is, right? The most important thing with a thesis is that it is clear and it is specific. So, like, if you're writing out student loans, for instance, should it be free for everyone who goes? Should it only be free for people making under a certain amount of money? Those are not the same solution. You know, those solutions are at odds with each other. They're two different plans. So you can't say both of them. You need to pick one. And I think that'll help to make your thesis a lot more specific. And I think no matter what you're writing about, having a specific thesis will make your life a lot easier. It'll make your essay more debatable, and I think it'll really kind of help you then to connect your paragraphs back to that thesis, to have a conclusion that shows us the bigger picture, to have an introduction that previews the thesis. The thesis, it just is the thing, right? It's just the most important thing. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is that you be clear and direct with your thesis. At the beginning of the paper, tell us, like, okay, here's what this problem is, and here's how we can solve it. Here's like, I think we need to get rid of college tuition, make it free for every person. And then if you're arguing that, at some point you might want to address a counter argument, right? Because somebody might say, well, aren't we going to let rich kids go to school for free if we do that? And then you'd have to say, well, yes, you might think that, but everybody deserves college, whether you're rich, poor, wherever you come from, you deserve it, so no one has to pay, and whatever. We can pay for it through taxing rich people, so you're making rich people pay through taxes instead of paying the college, whatever. That's just an example. I'm not saying that's what you have to say, of course. You can make any argument that you want. I'm just saying that you need that level of specificity to have a good debatable thesis that's going to set you up for a successful essay throughout. So that was all the questions that I had. Okay, one more thing I want to touch on. I've said a few times, I think, that like a format that I think makes sense for this essay is like explaining, like, so it's a problem and a solution, right? So explaining what the problem is, explaining what other people have said about it, what solutions have been suggested, and then arguing for your solution. So I know I've been explaining it that way, but I just want to remind everyone that your solution is the thesis. That is the focus of the essay. That's the main thing that we should be doing here, is arguing for a solution to a problem. I said you can explain the problem and do all that because I think that makes sense, and I think I think that would help you guys to make it longer, because I know we're always concerned about how long the essay is and everything and getting to the right page numbers. So I thought that would be helpful that way, but I would make sure that you get to your solution by like the second page, like I think I said this about the sample essay, but you don't want to wait until the last page to say, oh, and here's my solution, here's what I think we should do. Because if you're being specific in the way that I think we need to be, then it's going to take more than one paragraph to explain your solution. It should take probably at least like 3 or something. I don't know for sure, but you should spend a lot of the essay, if not most of it, talking about the solution. That's the thesis. That's the thing you're arguing. Explaining the problem, that's fine. That helps us to get to the solution, right? What other people said, that also helps us to get to the solution. But the solution just needs to be the most important thing about your essay. I can't emphasize that enough. All right. I think that's all I have for now. If you have any other questions, send me an email. I'm going to be trying to be on my email basically every day between now and the end of the semester. So I should be able to get back to you hopefully quickly. But yes, other than that, I will talk to you later.